I love fiction. I love a great story. When I find a nonfiction book that has me on the edge of my seat, there is nothing like it. Here are 3 nonfiction bangers for you to add to your TBR. Stay tuned because I have a bonus rec at the end that I think you're going to love. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, An Indian History of the American West by D. Brown. If you've heard Wounded Knee in the news recently, it is a very hot topic from a political perspective. The story of Wounded Knee is one of the most grotesque stories in the history of the United States and probably ever. The Wounded Knee Massacre is one of the most calculated and systematic destruction of Native Nation people you will ever hear. D. Brown's account is personal, intimate, harrowing, and something that I think anyone who wants to get a true and raw understanding of American history at what some would consider the height of the existence of the Native Nation people, Bury My Heart and Wounded Knee is a must read. Revolutionary Spring, Europe Aflame, and the Fight for a New World, 1848 to 1849 by Christopher Clark. If you've watched any of my nonfiction book recommendation videos, you know I love Sleepwalkers by Christopher Clark. Revolutionary Spring hits just as hard. Europe in 1848 and 1849 saw so much political upheaval at once, it truly felt like Europe was on fire across the entire continent. Countries were establishing new constitutions. Capitalism was creating a massive divide of social inequality. Clark's Revolutionary Spring, much like Sleepwalkers, is very character-driven with a ton of historical research and investigative prose and can be great for a foundational understanding of what some of the world looks like currently. So much of the discussion around the outbreak of the First World War is discussed primarily through a militaristic and political lens. The Proud Tower, A Portrait of the World Before the War, 1890 to 1914 by Barbara Tuchman, primarily focuses on the people and societies prior to the outbreak of the Great War. So much in the world changed in the 25 years leading up to the First World War. There was the Industrial Revolution. Capitalism was booming and expanding at a massive scale. Technology was at such an innovative place at the time. The invention of the automobile, extreme advancements in the military, massive practical advancements in everyday life, was a major player in what led to the outbreak of the First World War, not just politics, colonialism, and military desires. Tuchman paints such a wonderful and beautiful picture through her prose in this book about the importance of societies and humans in this otherwise harrowing story of the Great War. It's probably one of the most recommended nonfiction books I ever give out. This month's book club pick is Tombstone, The Earp Brothers, Doc Holliday, and the Vendetta Ride from Hell by Tom Clavin. If you love movies, you've probably seen Tombstone. Your favorite character from that movie is probably also Doc Holliday.
I'm in my prime.
Tom Clavin does a masterful job highlighting their real story, the true characters in an amazing fashion, super accessible, and one that I think anybody who's not typically a fan of nonfiction would absolutely love.